So I gave an answer to this question yesterday, but today I wanted to do it a bit differently and share a story of how I gauge my progress, starting from the very beginning. So, as I mentioned before, but some of you may not know, I've been playing for 21 years. I've been teaching professionally for 19 years. I went to 14 years of formal schooling at the college level, and music has always been, really since the age of 9 for me, something that I've just been so excited to be a part of. So I tried to play when I was 12, took a lesson, it didn't work out. I didn't get it. I wanted to learn Green Day, wasn't Green Day. Gave up or whatever. Later, had a friend show me some stuff, and I got my second chance to be a musician. I'll share that story another day. That's not the story for today. Uh, the story for today is really once I started playing and I got my first song that I ever played all the way through was Fix Me by Black Flag. Just power chords. I remember how I played it. I just played it as power chords along the E string. But now, with YouTube and all that, I saw Greg Ginn actually did a little variation on it. So I didn't play it the exact way I did, but I learned it from tabs back then. I didn't really know very much about music, but it sounded really good, like the song, and I was really hyped about it, right? So that was 3 months in. So it was like the first 3 months were just trying to play parts because I knew that I wanted to play a whole song. That was like really, really, really important to me. So I was off to the races on that. Because I had a longer attention span just generally. I would listen to an entire like 45-minute hour long CD before I like did an activity. So I'd get home from school and the first thing I would do is like listen to a CD or something. I would just want to listen to an entire record all the way through start to finish. I did that every single day for years. So playing a whole song was not too much information or anything of that nature to me at that time. So, and I started when I was 17, just to give a time frame, and I'm 39 right now. So it was a number of years ago, before YouTube, before cell phones, social media, all that kind of stuff. Uh, Once I did my first song, I just learned a bunch of songs. Remember I had a playlist of about 20 songs, and I would play them all. Um, in a row, sometimes twice a day. So sometimes I'd be playing 40 total songs, 20 different songs um, that I could just had memorized and could just play. So I started building my own set of songs. And so I was already making this kind of progress. And my progress was really known to me because I would be able to complete songs. And I remember there was a song by Bigwig. The song was called Girl in the Green Jacket. And it had like kind of a lead part, and it was like fast, like it's like tremolo picked, and that was really challenging for me. I did get it, I looked up tabs and learned it and all that, but it was sort of always hard for me at that time to play that. I never felt like I really mastered that, but I could play it, and I'm sure it was pretty sloppy back then, but because I didn't have the awareness that I do now of sort of what I'm really looking for in every single note of my playing. But fast forward a bit, then I wanted to play my first solo. So the first solo I ever learned was uh, "If the Kids Are United, They Will Never Be Divided." I think the song's name's a little shorter like that. "If the Kids Are United" or something like that. It was I forget there was a band that originally did the song, but it was a Rancid cover because again I was like really into punk rock. So, and it was cool because it just ended up using the root position A blues scale pretty much. So it was pretty simple. It wasn't shreddy or anything like that, and I just felt really awesome that I could start to do that. Play the little like fill leads in between, like "Hey Joe" by Jimi Hendrix and a bunch of stuff like that. So it really started to make me feel like more of a guitar player, because after a while, you get tired of doing power chords. My first year was pretty much exclusively power chords because I just wanted to learn the songs I listened to, and they happened to be mainly all power chords. But again, things like the Bigwig song and a couple like Jimi Hendrix. I started to get into. A friend showed me this. I wasn't into it myself, but as I started becoming a guitar player, I started to make friends with other guitar players, and started to learn about guitar music. So all of a sudden, I found myself exposed to music of the 1960s, the rock music of that time, which I didn't listen to at all. But I became really enamored with Cream, Eric Clapton's band, one short-lived band, but I became really enamored with that. And so the first big solo I learned was Sunshine Your Love by Cream. And that I learned from the tab book. And I remember I bought that tab book at Guitar Center, and it was like a 45-minute drive away. And I brought it back, and I just sat on my bed for 4 hours straight and learned that solo. So I think to understand, like, to just sort of pause the story here, you won't learn efficiency until you just learn how to get better, like what works for you just to get better. So there's no substitute. This is something one of my teachers told me many years ago, Darren O'Neill, from Montclair State University. He said, "There's no substitute for practice." He's like, "We'll look for it, but it's not there. There's no substitute for practice." So to learn that solo, the Sunshine Your Love solo, I sat down for 4 hours straight, not even a bathroom break. Like, I remember I had to go, but I'm like, I get this, right? And I'm putting the song on and I'm playing along, and of course I had to have it all memorized, So it was just, but I was so hungry for it. And that's the other part, is you got to develop this appetite. You got to want it so bad that you're willing to basically fail at it a lot, until you're like tweaking this, fixing that, adjusting this, adjusting that, right? So then later got really into shredding. I remember when I was like starting to do 3 notes per string, because most of the blues stuff and pentatonic is all 2 notes per string, so 3 notes per string. And alternate picking, I remember that. So I remember I had my Jackson, which is actually still right there. You know what? This is a good time for it. The guitar is not in playable condition at the moment, but I want to bring this out because it's my Jackson. This is a guitar I played a tremendous amount. It's not in playable condition at the moment, but I would like to get it back. But the reason why I wanted to show it to you is this. There's no substitute for practice. So if your hand isn't on the instrument and you're not trying things, it's not going to happen. And get the light. See all. This is a polished neck too. I mean, it's not a thick lacquer or anything like that, but sweated through the clear coat. You can see all along the base there. Like that. Like that. So that should sum the story up. This was my high school graduation present, and it was set up by a very near and dear friend of mine, the guy who first hired me to be a guitar teacher, Tom Barth from, I forget where he lived, but I taught in Succossana, New Jersey. His store was called Tom Barth's Music Box, and it's set up perfectly with 11s. It like full D standard and drop C. You can actually go back and forth between it. Still, even just sitting in the case all these years, hasn't even moved. But that's a side note. So, yeah, I guess I'll have to make yet another video on this because I want to keep these all under 10 minutes. But I think if there's any takeaway from what I've told so far, it's this. Play. Play, 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 play. Figure out how to get better, and you will find efficiency. Now, I have a few more epiphanies to share, but again, I'll make another video on that. But there you have it. There you have it. This guitar was brand new when I bought it. Or when it was gifted to me. But it was brand new. Bought it at a musician's friend. All right. If you have any more guitar or music questions, send them my way. I'll make a video on them. Thanks.